We're here with Lewis Davis today. He is running for County Commissioner for Troup County. He is the incumbent. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. Okay, I'm Lewis Davis. I'm 61 years old. I'm a general contractor. I've been in the contracting business for about 25 years. Before that, I worked with my father. I got a small cattle farm and I own some property that I see after some timber near my home.
And how long have you been in office?
This is my second term. I'm finishing up my 8th year.
What led you to want to get involved as a commissioner?
Well, really what led me into it was my father. My father was a commissioner back in the 70s. And when I was little, I saw what he did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching him interact with people, helping people with answers and that kind of thing, and making a difference. And that spurred my interest in politics. And ever since then, I've tried to be involved, and it was always an aspiration of mine to hold this office. And I was extremely excited when the people elected me 8 years ago.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that is facing Troup County?
Growth. Growth is a big challenge for us, especially in the unincorporated area. I think one of the things is you go out into my district in the unincorporated area. First of all, people don't like change. I mean, they want everything to stay the same. And that's a very difficult challenge when you have the amenities, when you have the lake, when you have Great Wolf, all the things that we have to offer, the interstate, the largest manufacturing plant in the state of Georgia, right here in our backyard. Growth is coming, and that's kind of what I'm about, controlled growth in the unincorporated area, because that's really all that I and my fellow commissioners can control is what goes on in the unincorporated area. Right. What happens in the city of LaGrange, Hogansville, and West Point, we have an ear, but we can't make the final decision of what happens in those areas.
Right. And how important do you see collaboration between Troup County and the cities being? Very important.
Very important.
What are some examples of collaboration that's taken place?
I don't know if I can give you a specific example, but I do think that we work well with our cities. I think we work well with our state legislators, because you have to have those collaborations in order to be successful. You do.
And it's my opinion that our Troup County school system is so important. And I think this election is so important because we're going to have a new superintendent. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have definitely 2 new school board members, perhaps 3.
Right.
And it's at such a critical time that the future of our community is dependent on Troup County school system. Our youth is our future.
Without question.
Yeah. And so even though it is not in your charter as your responsibility for the school system, you can make no changes yourself, or vote anything. So we realize that. But what do you think is your position going forward? And maybe you can tell me if you have already done this or if you plan to, of influence and collaboration with the school system for excellence in our school system for the future of our community.
Right. Well, first of all, I agree with everything you said about how important the school system is for Troup County. Because when a couple or a family moves to a community, that's one of the first things they look at is the school system.
Right.
It is vitally important. And believe you me, I understand that every day. I try to have I don't want to say a working relationship with the school board. I can't really affect what they do, but I do talk to several of them on a regular basis. We're always, as a commission and as individuals, we're always there to help them with situations. An example, they had the Whitesville Road soccer complex. It was going to be the soccer complex. They needed water down for the Rosemont Elementary School. We worked with them in an exchange. We helped give some money to help with the water line, to go to help the children with that school system, because water was vitally important to be able to put that new school down there. In return, we got the high school, the old high school, the Whitesville Road Elementary School land and complex, and now we're going to be able to turn that into a really nice soccer complex. We've got a great gym. We've got an educational center over there that can be utilized for that. That's an example of them working with us and us working with them to help benefit all of Troup County. Because what you do is when you get like that water line, for example, you're in the real estate business, you understand water means growth. When we extended that water line, that's going to help that area grow down through there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be a safety issue too. It not only helps them grow, it makes them safer because they got water hydrants out there.
Yep.
It
I mean,
does.
infrastructure is key
Yes, ma'am.
for growth. How do you balance growth but preserve the character of our community?
Well, that's what my role is. I have to do that all, and that's what I try to be about. I try to watch when in the unincorporated area. I always try to keep in mind my constituents, what their feelings are when I make decisions. I don't think you've seen a lot of growth. We're talking big subdivisions and that coming in the unincorporated area. And one of the main reasons you don't see that is because of water and sewer. Water and sewer is not in the unincorporated area. And that was a decision that was made far before I ever became a commissioner. And unfortunately, we're at the point where it's just unaffordable to start putting water all through the county. We're going to have to grow basically from the inside out. And that's kind of what they're doing. They're expanding the city limits of LaGrange. That's another thing. A lot of people don't like that either. But that's a choice that the state legislature allows for a city. If the city and the landowners want to be brought into the cities, whether it's West Point, LaGrange, or Hogansville, they can do that. We have to sign off on it, but there's not much that we can do to affect whether it happens or not.
Okay. I want to change subjects and talk a little bit about some votes that have happened recently.
Sure.
What was your vote and your position on the short-term rental? So recently there was an ordinance that was changed where for short-term rental, you have to own the property for at least 3 years in order to apply for the permit, and then you can only use it as a short-term rental 175 days of the year, and there's limitations on the number of permits that will be approved per year.
Right.
So what was your vote, and then what was the reasoning behind those changes?
Well, first of all, my vote, I voted in favor of it. I had some interpretation, or whatever you want to call it, about making that vote. But here's reality. Again, I represent my district. I try to do what's best for all of Troup County, but at the end of the day, I have to make decisions what affects my district. My district encompasses probably 90% of the usable portion of West Point Lake. I realize how valuable a resource West Point Lake is. I also have friends that are owners and operators of vacation rentals. But over the past few months, we have had, I can't tell you, of almost every time one comes before us, there's a group of landowners, property owners that live right near there that are always complaining about the vacation rentals. And what the common theme that I'm getting is, we didn't sign up for this. We lived here 20 years. We lived here 10 years. We moved here for peace and quiet. We didn't move here for a transient home for people to come in and out on a daily basis. We had to do something. And when you come up with these rules, we have to come up with rules that 3 people can agree with. I can have all the thoughts in the world on how things need to work, and that's the part of being a commissioner that's kind of hard to understand. If you can't get 2 other people to go along with you, you can have the best idea in the world. It's not going to work. You have to be somebody that has the ability to work with others, whether their ideas are not what your ideas are. What you have to do is to try to work with them. And there's nothing wrong. You know, everybody says compromise. That's a bad word. Compromise is the way the system's set up, okay? And you have to be smart enough to be able to work. You may not get everything you want, but what you try to do is to get as much of what you want in those things. Again, I don't want to see anything to hurt vacation rentals. I don't want to hurt a man that's trying to make a living. But when you have a lot of people, and we did tend to see that in the last few months, most of the people, not even the last few months, most of the vacation renter owners are people that are investors that are buying these properties from out of town. They don't live here. And that bothers me when we're affecting my neighbors, the person that votes for me, the person that I represent. When they're coming to you, and that's another thing, when you're a commissioner, you got to make a decision. And you can't make everybody happy. When you get this job, if you're thinking you're going to try to make everybody happy, you're not. As they always tell me, if you're a commissioner for any length of time, you're probably going to have less friends when you leave than when you got there. It's the fact of life. You don't want it that way. We take these jobs. We want to please people. I want to make everybody happy. But you know what? At the end of the day, you can't. You got to do what's right.
Right, right. Would you look at modifications to that ordinance for maybe unintended consequences?
Without question, we are always looking at changing things. Things change. On a daily basis, there's things that come up and change. If we see something in there, not just a vacation rental, any ordinance that we put in place, if we see we've done something that's hurting somebody or we didn't think about that, because there's another thing too, when you create an ordinance, when you get people to call you about, well, I don't like the way you did that, there's so many things that one ordinance, not particularly the vacation rental, can affect, things that you don't even think about. It might be 6 months down the road. You know what, we didn't think about that could affect. We need to change that. We need to tweak that. And we're open to do that. We try to be, yes.
Okay. I want to ask you about the privatization of our sanitation.
Yes.
So it's been in place a little less than a year.
Yes.
What do you think the results are? How do you measure the results? Do you think it was successful? And what is your opinion going forward of what should be done?
Okay. First of all, I want to get something very clear, okay? Because a lot of people don't understand this. We've had discussions with this almost ever since I've been there because it's a problem, okay?
Right.
When I first became commissioner, our cost was $400 and something thousand a year to operate sanitation. When we took that vote, it was $2.5 million a year to operate, and that wasn't even figuring what it was going to cost this year. In that process of it going up, the citizens of LaGrange, Hogansville, and West Point were basically being double taxed because they were being forced to have curbside pickup and pay the exact same amount that the people in the unincorporated area were paying. The commissioners did not think that was fair. I looked at all the evidence, and again, I told them, I said it in the paper and I'll say it now. I told them in private, I told them in public, my district will not support it because the vast majority, almost 100% of my district is in the unincorporated area and West Point. Now let me be clear, it is West Point too.
So did you vote for it or
I
against
voted
it?
against
You
it.
voted,
I voted
you were one of the
against it.
two
But see,
that
there's a
voted
lot of
against
people
it.
out there saying, oh, well, he voted for it. Lewis Davis did not vote for
Okay.
it, okay? But I will tell you this, and I want to be totally honest with you. Anytime you start a new business, there's going to be some hiccups. I was very concerned when it got started. There's still issues. I'm not telling you Martin is perfect. I hear a lot of people call me, they're okay with it. Still hear a lot of people, I can't stand it, okay? But there are a lot of people that are happy with it and have no issue with it. Moving forward, I really can't say. We haven't been in it a year yet. As we get closer to the year, we'll reevaluate everything and just see how it works out.
Would you be open to the privatization of your service centers and then let the citizens of the county choose who they want for their pickup, if they want pickup?
Well, first of all, you got to know that I fought. There's one thing I did. I lost that vote when they did the vote about going to curbside pickup. I voted against it. Then we had to vote on choosing which company got to have the contract. We only had 3 companies. A lot of people complain, well, you didn't use the local vendor. The local vendors didn't bid. You can't choose somebody that doesn't bid. Second of all, I was adamant about the fact that we needed to keep our convenience centers open for the citizens to have a place to haul bulky material and then some extra trash. And some people didn't want to sign up. They just want to take a bag to the trash can. I was adamant about that, okay? I think that has helped tremendously. As far as changing the next time and letting people choose who they want to, that's a difficult thing, and they can explain that to me, and I can understand the reasoning. I think if you look, most counties do it the way we did it. They pick one vendor to do it because of the cost effectiveness of it. When you take a company, when they start, they might not get any customers. They don't know. You have to make it where it's affordable, and the more customers that they have, the more affordable they can make it. Because you got to look out after everybody. Because the guy that lives at Liberty Hill, way out there in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road, if you just let anybody do it, they may have to charge him a lot more than the guy that lives almost close to the center of town. So there's a balancing act there, and you have to watch that.
Let's stay on zoning a little bit. And right now, the smallest home that can be built in the unincorporated area is 1,000 square feet.
Right.
Would you, and you being a builder,
Yes.
know the extremities in cost for building right now? And I don't expect that to go down.
No.
So
I wish you would, but I don't,
Right,
I don't
exactly.
think it, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it will.
So would you support, if there's someone that they have their acre of land, they've got septic they're going to put in, would you support letting them build the size home they want to? If they want to build a 750 square foot home and they meet, the other requirements of having, the land requirement, would you support smaller square footage being built?
I would certainly support looking at it. That's a hard thing to talk about too, because it's not all like it is on HGTV when you watch it. There is you've got nice small homes, and then you could have some real some real bad small homes. There's got to be standards with that. So we'd have to look at that. But surely I am open to look at anything to do that would help somebody. But I also don't want to help this person and then hurt somebody else. So there's a balancing act there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to have you take a few minutes and tell the community why they should vote for you, Lewis.
Okay. Again, I thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to come speak to everybody today. But it was an honor of my life when I was voted 8 years ago in to serve the people of my district and all of Troup County. I think I've made a good commissioner over the past going on 8 years. I have been very conservative with the money. I have done my best to see that we have had projects that have been done in my district. I'm proud of Ofuskie. I'm proud of the Ag Center that we have in my district. I am proud of the fact that we have been able to add equipment and help our road department, help our citizens. I think that I have tried my level best to be a person that understands my district, that answers the phone, tries to get people the answer. Not always the answer they want, but I try to get them an answer. And I have made some real good connections over the past 8 years. I want to continue to use those connections that I have to benefit not only District 3, but all of Troup County. I ask for your support and I ask for your vote. Thank you so much.
And Lewis, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you so much.